Hello everyone, this is Kelly and welcome back to the Honeybee Stamps YouTube channel. I'm so excited to have you here for day 4 of our love letters release. It's available at honeybeestamps.com on January the 2nd. Today's collection is packed with loads of love. First off, I have a brief little overview for you. First off is Sealed with a Kiss. It's a great pair of lips with a coordinating die. Then we have a brand new buzzword called smooch. As with all of our buzzwords, we have that beautiful scripty word and then lots of mix and match words and sentiments to go along with that word. There's also a great 3-piece die set, which includes 2 shadows and that scripty word. Next up is a really cool stamp set. I'm excited about this one. This is Loads of Love. This pairs with our big pickup tailgate. That is so you can load up your big pickup with all types of things from presents to letters to hearts. We'll dive into that just a little bit later. And of course, there is a coordinating die set with Loads of Love as well. In addition to Loads of Love, we have pickup lines. This is the perfect sentiment set to go along with your big pickup cab, tailgate, and of course Loads of Love there to the side. Has lots of great sentiments. This also has a coordinating die set. If you choose to purchase that, that's going to cut out every one of those great pickup line sentiments. And all of these great greetings coordinate perfectly with all of our big pickup collection. Next is a 4x6-inch stamp set called Fortunate to Have You. It has a cute little fortune cookie, the little paper or flag that tucks right down inside, and then lots of great greetings that you can either stamp onto the little paper or onto your card. There's a coordinating die set that's going to cut out the fortune cookie, the little paper, as well as a lot of those sentiments. We also have the fortune cookie slider die set. This builds several layered fortune cookies and it also has several interactive elements in it. I'm going to demo this one in just a minute, but it's a really fun die set and then it coordinates perfectly with the Fortunate to Have You stamps and dies. We also have a newbie to our Slimline Sentiment collection, and this is the stitched dies. You can see that great cut line around the edge and then the stitch line on the inside. There's a lot of great sentiments. I'm going to show you a still shot next of what these look like when they are cut out. You can see that die there, the long rectangle that's perfectly sized for Slimline cards, and then we have B and then BEE, Mine, Sweet, and Friend. Okay, now let's jump in to the Loads of Love stamp set. This is a 6x6-inch stamp set, and as I mentioned earlier, this coordinates perfectly with our big pickup tailgate and then the cab. You can see I've stamped and made a card here, so that's the tailgate. The front side is the cab. I've made a little easel card with the cab on the front and the tailgate on the back. And then you can place any of those little loads of love into the back end of your big pickup. So you can see here how I've stamped and done a little bit of coloring, and I can add all of those love letters right into the back side of my pickup. There's also little trailers that you could put for a wedding card. There's a big bouquet of flowers. There's balloons, there's gifts. So lots of fun here. A perfect way to add loads of love into the tailgate of your big pickup. And then we have the pickup lines sentiment set. Now this is the perfect set to coordinate along with Loads of Love and the big pickup. So you can see there we have sending you loads of, we have prayers, happy thoughts, birthday wishes, and many, many more. Now you can stamp those directly onto your big pickup or use those coordinating dies and pop those onto any of your big pickup card creations. Next up, I have a little graphic here for you of the fortune cookie slider dies. So I'm going to show you how to put together the 3 fortune cookies. See, the top there is broken, so you can reveal and slide apart your message. But I have these all cut out of different colors of kind of brown and tan cardstock so I can really show those layers and details. So I have each layer die cut. I'm going to use our Honeybee Stamps Precision Tip Glue and that makes it super easy for me to really kind of slide around and adhere these pieces exactly where they need to be. But I'm going to get these all adhered, and then you're really going to see the layers and the dimension and the details in these fortune cookies kind of pop out as I start working on them. So next piece I'm working on is the little broken piece. So that's actually where you're going to be able to use the little included slider piece. There's a die in that set that makes a little slider for your card. And so when you pull that apart, it's going to reveal that hollow piece of the cookie there. As you can see, I have a still shot here. It looks like that cookie is broken apart. You can see right into the inside of it. And if I slide that to the left, you can see the open cookie, and it's going to reveal the little paper or the message inside. Now I'm going to use the slider die and the little message later, but first off, I'm going to finish putting together my other two little fortune cookies. This one has 2 layers, and this is the one, it has a little slit that's already pre-cut into the inside of it. You can kind of see it there on the screen, but it's very obvious when you get the dies, you cut that apart. There's also a little flag die included that has a little catch on it, so your message is not going to pop out. It's going to stay put when you get it all adhered onto your card, so you can stamp your little message right on that and add it to the inside. And then this is just a basic 2-layer fortune cookie that you can slip your little paper or your message right inside of. I'm going to kind of demo that with that one. You can see you could stamp your message and then just adhere that right onto the front of your card. So I am going to use the slider die and the broken cookie to reveal the message. And you can see here, I've built this card. I've used some of our heart dies, some of our new pattern paper, and then if I use the slider and I pull my little tab to the left, it's going to reveal that message, and then I have a stamped message on the bottom. So I'm going to show you exactly how I put all that together. Now, I want to remind you, this is just a basic demonstration. You could go as basic or as fancy as you would like to go on your slider cards and your interactive cards. So this is just a basic to show you how easy it is to put these together. So I have my little fortune cookies put together. You can see there the one that slides in and out. I have my broken cookie here. You can see the hollow inside. I love that part. I think it's so realistic looking. And that's the one that I'm going to use along with that slider die that's included in the die set to create my interactive card. Here's another example of that third cookie that just has a little message that you can pop right in between the layers. And now I'm going to get started on my interactive card. So I'm going to do a square card. I'm going to use some of our stacking heart dies, and I have cut 2 hearts, one out of white paper and one out of some of our brand new Love Layers pattern paper pad set. That's a 6x6" paper pad. And I kind of have to fiddle around with this just for a second to figure out where I want to place and cut out that slider mechanism in that pattern paper. So I'm kind of holding it all up to see where I want to put it. And then I'm going to hold with my fingers that slider die, hold it in place. And then I'm just going to use a little bit of washi tape to hold that down and then run that through my die machine. I'm going to carefully pull apart that washi tape so I don't tear up my beautiful new pattern paper. And then as you can see, it reveals that little oval part that we have there. That's the little slider part. That's the opening that's going to allow my little fortune cookie to slide apart and reveal the little message. Now, I chose to show my little slider part inside there. You can see the white heart underneath. If you do not want that to show, you may want to do some matching cardstock or something like that. But I kept this very simple and very basic. I don't care that all the parts and pieces show and the mechanism shows. That doesn't really matter to me. So I just left all that white and I'm just going to continue building the card. If you want that all to kind of be hidden, you're going to want to choose a cardstock that matches that pattern paper, or that it's the same as the pattern paper, to put as your underneath paper. So that where I'm using the white heart, you would want that to match the pink. Now, with all that said, I am now making a little channel for my penny slider to slide around in. So you can see I have my penny set there right where it's going to go and slide along that little slider mechanism, or where I've cut that oval hole. I'm making sure to kind of block off all the edges because I don't want my slider to go too far. I don't want it to fall off the edges. I want it to stay right there in its little channel. So you can see I'm testing that there. And now, to make sure that it slides very, very well and I have plenty of room, I'm going to actually double up my foam tape. So I'm going to take just a second. I'm going to double up all the foam tape. You can see I've removed the backing on the first layer, and now I'm doubling it up, and then I'll remove the backing on the second layer. So I'm getting it all set. Again, I'm making sure to go really carefully around that little channel that's going to be my little slider channel, to make sure that nothing will fall out, that my penny and my slider is going to stay in place, and that my little slider mechanism, my little interactive card, is going to work. So now I have all my little backing pieces all pulled off. And next thing I need to do is add my foam tape to the penny. So I'm cutting down a couple of little rectangle pieces because I need it to fit right there inside of that channel that I cut with the die. So I'm adding it, holding everything with my fingers. I add my little strip of foam tape. I'm going to double it up, add one more little piece. I'm going to pull off the topper, and then I need to kind of eyeball where my fortune cookie needs to sit on there. So you can see I pulled off that top. I put it right back on because I remembered I really need to see where that fortune cookie needs to sit before I pull off the backer and before I go much further with that. I need to add that to my white background heart. Remember, you could do that in any color you wish. I'm just keeping it super simple, super basic. I'm getting it all lined up and all of that foam tape squished down and stuck nice and neat on there. And now you can see if I move that back and forth, you can see where that penny is going to slide right in that channel. Next is stamping the little banner that's going to go on the inside, and I am using the Fortunate to Have You stamp and die set. So I've got my little flag there, my little paper stuck down in my MISTI, and I am stamping So Lucky. So I'm going to ink that up with VersaFine ink. You can see how nicely those stamp. And then on the little pull tab of that, or the very end, you can see there where I have left that little gap open. So I can add a little pull there. So the recipient knows to kind of pull along or slide that mechanism or the little cookie apart. So I'm going to pull that out and make sure that that ink dries nicely. And then this is where I need to make sure that all my little bits and pieces and cookie is the way that I want it set up before I adhere everything down. I'm going to adhere what is the top part or the cover part first. I'm kind of just holding everything together. You can see here I'm going to line up my little cookie, my fortune cookie. That's how I want it to look when it's all put together. And then I've added some foam tape. That way everything, that front part is raised up off of the front of my card to allow for that mechanism to slide. Now I've stuck it down, and then you can see how that cookie part is going to slide out from there. So next thing I did is I peeled off the backing of my foam tape. I'm going to kind of slide over the penny. I'm going to raise up And I'm going to get everything kind of situated one more time. Slide that back in and line up my little pieces. And then all I have to do is press it down into the foam tape of that penny. And now it's going to slide apart and everything is adhered. It's not going to come apart. And I have that fun little slider portion done for my fortune cookie. Now the only thing I need to do is add my sentiments. So I had already stamped my little banner flag. So you can see there, it says pull, so lucky. And then you can see there that penny is just sliding right along that little track. When it slides to the left, it reveals the message, and when it goes back to the right, my cookie is completely closed up. Okay, the only thing that's left to do now is stamp the rest of my sentiment. I stamped that in the same ink on white paper, and it says to have you. There's a coordinating die that goes along with that stamp set. That's the fortunate to have you stamp and coordinating die set. I'm going to make sure that that VersaFine ink, because it stays a little wetter longer, I'm making sure that that's all nice and dry because I don't want to smear my sentiment when I put my die over it. So I'm really getting my head over the top. I apologize for that, but I'm really making sure that that coordinating die is lined up. I'm going to add some washi tape to that, and then I'm going to run that right through my die machine. Now, I have adhered both layers of that heart. So you can see the white layer underneath. You can see the little channel there for my penny mechanism. You can see the pink and white heart paper and all of that cute little fortune cookie. And now I'm just going to add a little bit more foam tape to the back of the to have you. And I'm going to add that right below, down in the bottom of that heart. Again, sorry, I've got my head over the top. I'm getting everything lined up. And now when the recipient pulls their cookie apart, it's going to say, so lucky to have you. So I'll pull it out to the left and then tuck it back in. And then you can see it was so simple and so basic. You could make this as basic or as fancy as you would like. Now here is one last look at the card with my fortune cookie all put together. So it's closed up. You can see the little pull and a little hint of what the message says. And then if you slide it apart, this is what it looks like. So lucky to know you. And that has been day 4 of the Love Letters release from Honeybee Stamps. I hope you'll check out our blog and the rest of our YouTube channel along with all of our social media. And again, this will be available at honeybeestamps.com on January the 2nd. And I'll see you tomorrow for day 5.